Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kieran. So I am going to share with you guys everything that's been going on. I have a lot of updates to give you. This video is going to be all about the results of some recent testing that I've had done. And I'm going to be talking a lot about medical procedures and diagnosis and things like that. So if those topics sound like something that might be a little difficult for you to listen to or something that maybe makes you uncomfortable, you do not have to watch this video. I've also been sharing on Instagram, so you can also learn what's going on there. In this video, I'm also going to be talking about my mental health. I want you guys to know that this video might contain some topics that are difficult to listen to. They might make some people uncomfortable, and I just want you to feel comfortable watching this. And if you're not comfortable, that is okay. You can skip this video. If you're new, I haven't been feeling well for quite a while. It sort of all goes back to, I feel like it's like such a long story, and I'm trying to like not make a super long video, and I'm just laughing because, you know, that's sort of like how I handle things sometimes. So I don't want you to think I'm not taking everything seriously. It's just kind of how I'm handling everything. So yeah, so I've trying to figure out exactly how I want to start this. I'll start with what happened with everything with the gastro doctor first, the gastroenterologist. So I haven't been feeling well for a while. I had a pain in my side, right under my right rib cage for quite a while. And at one point during the school year, I'm a teacher. At one point during the school year, I just had such significant pain in my side that I just had to leave work and go to the doctor. And at that time, the doctor was listening to my heart like they normally do. They found that I have a heart murmur, and they referred me to have an ultrasound of my abdomen and also an echocardiogram to look at my heart. And in that process, the echocardiogram showed that I have, they thought that it showed that I have something called a bicuspid aortic valve and aortic stenosis. And all of a sudden I was having all these appointments with cardiology, and everything with my heart was sort of like the main focus. And you know, I kept on having these pains in my right side. I also sort of had some like lumps on my body. A couple of them were on my right rib cage. And so I had talked to my little sister Courtney about it, and she was like, just call the doctor, see if they can get you in. They were able to get me in that next day. And the doctor, I actually worked with a student doctor and the doctor as well, and they were very they were great. They listened to everything I was saying, and they actually thought that it could have been Crohn's disease that I am struggling with. So I was referred to a gastroenterologist, and I went to the gastro, I think that's short for gastroenterologist, but I went to the gastroenterologist, and I talked with her, and she didn't think it was Crohn's disease. She thought it could be something related to my gallbladder. I actually had my gallbladder removed when I was 11, so that's something that obviously it's not my gallbladder because I already had it removed. So I was talking with the doctor, and she said, you know, sometimes you can have some issues like with your gallbladder, and again, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know exactly how to describe it, but like the ducts that lead to where your gallbladder was, sometimes like later they can be, you can just have some difficulty. So she ordered a colonoscopy and blood work and something called a HIDA scan. So I had the colonoscopy a few weeks ago, and the HIDA scan was maybe a week after that, I think. And then I did the blood work as well. The HIDA scan looked at I think normally it like looks at how your gallbladder's functioning, but for me it was looking at like how things like travel through your body like near where your gallbladder was. And yeah, and so I had those tests done, and then I had a follow-up with the gastroenterologist, and that was just this past week. So I was able to go there and get the results of the testing, and I went there, and she actually said that she doesn't see anything from a gastroenterologist perspective that would be causing the pain in my side. You know, which is good. I'm happy that from that perspective, there's nothing going on that would cause the pain in my side. I know when I was younger, I was told, you know, that my diet is going to have to change after I had my gallbladder taken out, that I might experience more stomach upset. Eating certain foods might be a little more difficult than other foods. And when I was younger, I was more respectful of that. I didn't eat dairy for a long time. I didn't eat chocolate for a long time. Those just seemed to be things that really upset my my digestion. But over the years, I've just sort of been like trying new things, and I decided to add dairy and chocolate back into my diet. And so those are things that I still think are difficult for me to digest. All of that to say, you know, hearing that from the GI doctor, from the gastroenterologist, that, you know, there's nothing that she can see that is like, not biologically, but like in the terms of like my digestive system, like the structure of it, she doesn't see anything that's concerning. She did share with me some like tips and tricks on foods that are good for people who don't have a gallbladder, foods that are not good for people who don't have a gallbladder, and gave me some information about that. And so I'm hopeful to, you know, be respectful of my body. And what I actually just recently started, actually today, I started back on Weight Watchers again. And I know for me with Weight Watchers is more than a way for me to, you know, work on my health and fitness. It's also a way for me to really track what I'm eating, balance what I'm eating, focus on the different, you know, like types of foods that I should be eating. And it's just a way for me to be very aware of what I'm eating. So I just started back on that today, and I'm hopeful that that will sort of balance things out as well and maybe reduce the pain in my side. Which honestly, I haven't experienced it much, not as much as I was experiencing during the school year, but I have had a few times this summer where I have struggled with the pain in my side a bit. I kind of felt like I left the gastroenterologist kind of like not really sure exactly what everything means, but it seems, you know, she said to me from a structural standpoint, there's nothing that she could see that would be causing the pain in my side. She gave me some information that I should be eating, what I shouldn't be eating. That's sort of where it's all at right now. It's hard when it's just sort of like, you know, you don't really know exactly what it is. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to really focus on Weight Watchers, see how that goes for a while. I'm still keeping track of the pain in my side, and trying to find like what foods might be bothering the pain in my side. I have severe OCD, severe obsessive compulsive disorder. It's something I've struggled with my entire life, and sometimes it's more difficult than other times to deal with. And recently, over the past few years, I've really, really been struggling with it quite a bit. And I've shared in the past how preparing food is something that's really, really difficult for me. If somebody prepares food for me, I'm able to, you know, pretty much eat anything. I am a vegetarian, so I choose to not eat meat. That's just my preference. I've been a vegetarian for almost 10 years now. But I just don't prefer to eat meat, but I will eat pretty much anything else. It's preparing food that's been really difficult for me. So when usually Sean will help me prepare food or will make food for me. But when I have to prepare food for myself, I really, really struggle with it. It's mainly about contamination of food and contamination while I'm preparing food. Those are the reasons why I struggle. When somebody else prepares food for me, I'm totally fine. I'm not gonna say I'm totally fine. Most of the time it's much easier for me to eat the food. But when I have to prepare food for myself, it's very, very difficult. It's been a while that I've been struggling with that. It's been quite a while. Sometimes it's better and sometimes it's not as good. I am working on the OCD, but it's a process. I know this is a really, you know, difficult topic to talk about because, you know, we're talking about medical stuff and health stuff, you know, procedures and diagnosis, but we're also talking about mental health. I just want to be so sensitive to you all about that, and because I recognize it's a very, very sensitive topic. Sean and I have been talking a lot about focusing on meal prep and focusing on really working together in the kitchen, and really focusing on helping me learn how to cook again, helping me learn how to, not even how to cook, but how to function in the kitchen. Because with my OCD, it's not just about preparing the food and food contamination, everything. It's so hard to even describe everything. It's all, the entire kitchen is just, it's really a difficult place for me. And I want to learn how to cook. I want to learn how to prepare food for myself. So that's another thing we're focusing on, is just how to help me learn how to function in the kitchen again. Because I used to cook and I used to bake and I loved it. But it's been really hard. I recently made cookies for a family event, and I just made chocolate chip cookies, and it took me an hour and a half to make the dough alone, which should have been like a 20-minute process. But because of my OCD and my struggles with, you know, working in the kitchen, it took me an hour and a half to just prepare the dough. And I was only able to bake like 12 cookies because I just ran out of time. But it was still, you know, a win for me because I was able to do that all on my own. The kitchen was a mess, but I was able to do that all on my own. So, you know, that's another focus of mine, is just really focusing on functioning in the kitchen again. I hope that this video was, you know, gave you some more information on how I've been feeling, and maybe gave you some information just on what's been going on, and maybe hopefully makes a little more sense to you about everything. And yeah, thank you so much for watching and listening. And I don't know, I feel kind of like overwhelmed by talking about this. I just want to say thank you all so much for all of your support and kind words. And yeah, thank you. And when I have more information about everything that's going on with my heart, I will share a separate video about that. But hopefully this is the, you know, the end of the journey with the pain in my side. Kind of like the end with like seeing the doctors, but also like the beginning of like helping it. And yeah, so thank you all so much, and I will talk to you in my next video.